Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Friday. It's a gorgeous rainy morning here in Toronto, and we're on this very quiet streetcar. And it's very calming and peaceful. Nice ambience on the streetcar here. There's a few people out, a few brave people with some umbrellas, and the rain is falling quite steadily at the moment. The Toronto area is expected to get about possibly 30 to 50 millimeters of rain, I saw on the Weather Network or the Weather Channel, the one that's online. So we got a lot of rain back on July 16th. Was it what? Over 100 millimeters in 3 hours. And that's a lot of rain. And there was local flooding, and people's basements were, 6 to 12 inches of water. Some people had to throw a lot of things from their basement, and wood and all kinds of stuff for some people. But I'm just documenting the view here from the streetcar, and it's actually getting really heavy. I might actually switch the seat just to get a bit of a closer look at it. You can see some of it starting to...
Next stop, Legion Road.
Build up in some areas. There was actually one area specifically that was all over social media, really. That was Dixie and Dundas area. I think it was either Lolita Gardens or Queen Frederica Way and Dundas, I think, and it was like a river.
Next stop,
You could see
Louisa Street.
garbage dumpsters moving along the river, which wasn't a river, it was just maybe the Credit River spilling over. Because you have to remember where we're living, we have a lot of rivers that lead towards the lake. And this is the southern end of Etobicoke, Toronto, of course. Hurricane Hazel devastated Toronto all those years ago, back in 1954, in October. Now that came from the Caribbean, and then it traveled all the way up to Toronto and affected a lot of the Long Branch area and Limerick and certain areas closer to the lake. Other areas as well, but those areas where they stood out. Oh, hi, Paul McDonald. Greetings. And thank you very much for your kind words. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well in Cape Breton Island. And thank you so much for sending that in. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you very much, Paul McDonald. You really made my morning. Thank you for sending that in. I am actually on my way to get a cup of coffee somewhere as the rain starts here. And that comes in really handy. So thank you so much again. Appreciate it. As we continue to travel westbound on the streetcar here, we're taking in the sights and sounds of all of the beauty of the rain around us, the trees, the life-giving rain to moisturize the earth and keep it nice and hydrated. You can already see some water pulling up on the streetcar area here, getting some puddles. You guys can see that. Hopefully the reception is good.
Next stop, Vehicle Avenue. Please look right for traffic when exiting. Next stop, Hillside Avenue. Next stop, Simmons Street.
And if you're just watching, thank you for watching us here today. Hello to everyone in the world watching the live stream. We are continuing to travel westbound on the streetcar here. And yes, it is raining. We didn't have any rain yesterday and I was live, so today there is rain. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're watching from the beginning, we have potentially 30 to 55 millimeters that are supposed to be coming into the Toronto area, potentially. Who knows if we're going to get that much, because as you guys all know, Toronto doesn't really have the infrastructure in place to handle all the excessive rain, so hopefully it will be a lot less.
Next stop, Royal York Road.
It was actually quite amusing, but last year at this time, we were still on 501 replacement buses, while the streetcar and the route on the lakeshore here was not operating on the streetcars, that is, was operating on the replacement buses. And I know that if I was to visit probably the downtown area, some areas that I'm just not visiting right now, I probably would be able to catch a replacement bus, probably even up until July 26th, 27th, an OG diesel. So I missed those, and that's okay. I have so many OG diesels in my archives and in my, basically my videos to watch for hours, because I've been filming them for about 4 years now on the channel. 3-4 years, along with other buses, of course, and many of them, of course, in the western portion here, between Long Branch and Queen and Yonge area, but not really beyond there. I didn't take, although I think there may have been some routes that I took that were to Broadview Station at one point, but I don't think it was a bus route. Sorry, a bus ride rather.
Please look right for traffic when exiting. Next stop, 3rd Street. Please look right for traffic when exiting. Please look right for traffic when exiting. Next stop is Lincoln Avenue. Please look right for traffic when exiting. You must have valid proof of payment to rent this car. Next stop, 10th Street. Please look right for traffic when exiting. Next stop, 13th Street. Please look right for traffic when exiting.
So the rain has stopped, guys, and I exited the street car for a few minutes. Oh, there's some beautiful flowers here. These are actually sunflowers, guys, in my name. So here's my flowers. That's Patrece Sunflower. That's all of my flowers here. Here they are. I know I was on somebody's lawn, but it's close to the road, so it's okay. I was literally on it a second. Always look both ways when you cross. Look out for yourself and others crossing the street. Being, of course, as obvious as possible with your phone standing out, just so you know you're noticeable. Super important this day and age with distracted drivers and, people maybe not paying attention as well as they could. Like, you're supposed to scan the intersection every 8 seconds when you're driving. That's what I was taught in driving school, the in-class portion, that is. We were taught to check the intersection every 8 seconds. Now, yesterday was August 8th, so if you were doing that on August 8th, kudos to you for following the rules. That's great. And here we are entering Rabifying Foods to visit the Rabbitinis. I hear a bit of radio, so I'm just going to mute it for a little bit, but I will be here and I'll unmute it once I'm out of this radio noise. So yes, Mary, you have asked me a question. Thank you very much. I'm wondering if you can guess by the little symbol at the top, the leaf. Yes, we are in Canada. We are streaming here from Canada. And the city is Toronto, actually. So yeah, this is Toronto, Canada. Oh, I still hear that. 1 second. Okay, we're outside, away from that radio music. Back into the beautiful, lush day of nice weather. Not too rainy yet. There's a nice gentle breeze. And it's beautiful and green here. The rain is picking up a little, but it's not too strong. And I don't have an umbrella, so I'm hoping I'll get back on the transit just to continue filming and sharing the road with you all. And if you just joined us here, welcome. I am Patrece Sunflower, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and gently hitting the like button. And enjoy this walk on this beautiful rainy day. There are some very gorgeous water droplets on this pine tree. And I'm just seeing how quiet it is and how nice it is. There's so many less people outside, and the sun is not out. For some people, this might be considered depressing or they don't like it. I can understand, because for a few months of the year we have dull days, but I love it. I really do. It's great. And if you watch that movie, Annie, from the early 1980s, she actually says the sun will come out tomorrow. I'm not talking about the new one. I don't know about the newer version of Annie musical. The original one from 1983, I think, or 82. The sun will come out tomorrow. More sunflowers, guys. Standing tall and proud and looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at these sunflowers. So many different kinds. You have the ones that have these dark orange stuff on them, and then you have ones with brighter yellow. And I think those ones might be gerberas, although I'm not 100% sure. Possibly some marigolds here. And my iced coffee. Thanks again, Paul McDonald, for sending in the donation. I really appreciate that. And I thank you so much for sending that in. It really makes my day, and it makes my stream go more smoothly. And it encourages me to make better content for you guys. Content that you will enjoy watching and find reflective or interesting or valuable to your life. Or even maybe, let's say you're watching us from another country and you've never been to Canada or been on a bus. I'm sure there are even some people who maybe can't get out and walk, and they want to see and feel and experience a bus ride and the magic of a bus ride. Especially, maybe you live in an area where you only have transit during the daytime and not overnight, as someone had said once and recently in a live. They said if you want to have access to transit, you have to use it just during the daytime and not night. And here in Canada, well, specifically Toronto here, we have 24-hour transportation. So that's great. Really, really great. Oh, hi, Sandra. That's great. Congrats. This is a really, really lovely part of Etobicoke here, guys. Close to Long Branch, bordering on Mimico, I guess. And probably one of the nicest times of the year to visit this area here would be in spring, and specifically autumn or fall, because you'll be greeted by so many beautiful squirrels, so many beautiful black and gray squirrels, and some of them, actually earlier today, I was filming a half gray, half black squirrel. It was amazing. It's a very, very nice squirrel, and you have to look out for it on my page. Sorry, not my page, my channel. Look at these trees. You don't even have to go to Hyde Park. You have Long Branch right here. Less populated and a little more quiet, I find. Hyde Park is pretty close to the highway and Bloor Street. So it's nice and peaceful here. Although I can see that the squirrels don't like the rain too much, because I'm looking for one squirrel and I don't see any yet. Look at this tree. Just gorgeous. Beautiful tree. I don't want to step on any snails either. You have to look at the ground just to make sure. Sometimes you'll see snails out in this weather. I just don't want to crush one. Of course, I see the robins and some pigeons. And there's the Kipling 44 bus, but I don't think I'll be able to catch that bus because I'm not in front of it. I see one squirrel. Someone's been already feeding them. Hey, buddy. How's it going? I know it's raining for you guys. You guys don't like the rain too much. But where's your friends? That's a little young one here. Where's your mom and dad? You're on your own already? Too young. Oh, it's raining a lot right now. I may have to get into the bus shelter. But I want to look at the flowers first. So gorgeous. These are echinacea, or I think these are the purple coneflowers or purpura. And if I'm not mistaken, these flowers generally are here at this time of year, and some people use these actually as tinctures. So you can use this as a herbal remedy, I believe, for strengthening the immune system, I believe. Yeah, echinacea, but of course talk to your doctor. See if it's right for you, or just take this as information. It's not meant to diagnose anybody. Alrighty, so yeah, we have buses here going along Colonel Samuel Smith Park. Sometimes I don't remember, I always forget that this is actually Colonel Samuel Smith Park. I guess because I know the area so well and I don't ever call it by that. Our bus should be here hopefully soon. I do see one straight ahead there. Could be two. Yeah, there's two buses straight ahead in a holding pattern, or I guess they're in maybe a layover. One of them is leaving, and at the moment there is no 9:44, which we all miss, of course. Get up to Kipling Station so much faster, but the children are out of school, and I don't know why this route doesn't get to keep the 9:44, but we get to keep the 9:35 on Jane, even though school is out. So I guess it's just used a lot more by people. I mean, out in this area here in Etobicoke, transportation's really not the greatest, and I'm sure you guys already know that if you're familiar with Toronto. It is not the greatest transportation out here. I'm not complaining, but there are other areas of Toronto that have much better transportation and access to it. It's been like this for years. Oh. Everybody's just ignoring the streetcar and not stopping. I see the bus coming soon. Excuse me. And we just boarded 8125 here on the 44 Kipling South, heading northbound towards Kipling subway station. And the funny thing is, as we drive by the school here, I can actually smell lead. But I don't mind the smell of it. It smells like a pencil. It actually smells like school. Very interesting. I don't know if that's kind of a mix of a diesel smell with lead, but it actually smells like you took a pencil and sharpened it. It's a very comforting smell in the bus. I like the smell of diesel a little bit and jet engine fuel. It's a very comforting smell. It's a little nostalgic as well to smell that smell. And here we are passing the Ford Performance Center. You can play hockey here, I guess, although I've never been in. Maybe you can see some games being played there. Do you guys know if Mount Dennis has any of these buses? Or does Wilson still have these buses as well? Or are they all just here at Queensway? Like I'm talking about the NG diesels and the EPA 10s 3Gs. Do you guys know? If anybody knows and you're watching, please feel free to comment or comment on one of my latest videos and let our audience know so we can find out, because I know we have a lot of these buses here now, and as you guys know, it's been what, 2 or 3 weeks now, probably about 2 weeks since we no longer have the OG diesels running on the Queensway routes. It's the NG diesels, the EPA 10s, the 3Gs, and the Nova LFSs. So yeah, I wondered if there are other regions that still have these, because I sometimes when I go to Kipling Station, I do see the EPA 10s, and I think I see the NGs, but they are the HEVs, I think. I could be wrong though. Not 100% sure. Probably someone from Toronto, unless you know, but that's my question. Because you're in Montreal, right? I don't know if you guys know, if you know about the Toronto buses. Like I was mentioning, I know a bit about them, but it's predominantly what we have here, which are these units. I don't know if Wilson or Mount Dennis has the EPA 10s as well as the NGs. Maybe they're scattered throughout, and I can't even comment on like Arrow or Birchmount or Malvern. I don't know what buses are there. Those are out of my scope and out of my realm. Yeah, it still smells like lead pencils in the bus. It's a very familiar smell. Like, have you ever used pencils and you smell the smell of lead, it's a very comforting smell. I like it. It's not unpleasant at all. It's almost like, you know, when you go into a wood shop and you smell the smell of wood. Very pleasant. Compared to the bus that I was on the other day, the smell was putrid. Some people had to like plug their noses, and luckily I had some perfume in my bag. I was able to spray a little bit to, you know, make it smell a little better. But really, it was just, you know, an uncomfortable smell. This area over here we're passing, where you see the extreme couture, this actually used to be close to the Revlon makeup. I used to go to Revlon sales here years ago, like the late 80s, early 90s. I do remember going right to this area here to see extreme couture, and that's what was there. Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. The reception just completely cut out and started to buffer. That's not uncommon with Rogers LTE, I guess. We may be traveling through an area here with limited data reception. Oh, you guys have those old LFSs, Sanjib? I don't know if we have those here. Those are really old. I mean, you should film them and put them on your channel. And, you know, we can see which one it is unless it's already there. I'm not familiar with the 2008 LFSs. I think the only ones that I'm really familiar with, I think, would be like the ones from 2015 or 2016. Those Nova LFSs. But because I'm not really like a Nova LFS fan, I don't really pay attention to them. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and you can put it up, why not? Share it on your wall, and you know, maybe you can make a short video of it if you want to. And our bus is now approaching Kipling Station quite shortly, as you guys can see from the window. I'll just be back in a second. I have to put this cup. Okay, here we go. Now my hands are more free to hold this phone because I finished my coffee. Feeling much better now. Wow, there's so much going on here at Kipling Station, guys. This is not what I expected to see, but we'll see it as we come in. I really haven't been here. Well, I mean, I was here recently, but now you can't access this part. There's really something. So this is the area that I was mentioning, guys. The TTC seemed to be very, very slow at the renovations here. Now, what did they even do? I don't see any changes whatsoever to it. It looks like it was just a waste of time, really. So yeah, this portion of the bus bay is now under renovation. Like one of my favorite spots to film. Anyway, you can still film from here, but it's just not the same. Yeah, Kipling Station will never be the same without our OG diesels at all. It is like boring as heck, really. Sorry, I'll try and brighten up my mood by just keeping quiet, maybe. I don't want to make this stream about that. Let's just enjoy the sights and sounds around us here in a much busier area, Kipling Station. Oh, there's the 45B Kipling. I do like that route. I think it's my favorite branch of the 45, the 45B, that's for sure. But definitely not that unit. My favorite unit on that would be, probably a 1055. But I think maybe that one's retired a couple years ago, I think. 1050 or 1055, TTC 1050 or 1055, the OG diesel hybrid. Okay, so maybe they extended a little bit here or something. You can see a little bit of renovation done. Certainly doesn't look that great. Looks okay. I don't know. TTC does funny things. And if you're just joining our live here, welcome. We are currently in Etobicoke, which is part of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we are just at Kipling subway station, the last stop on the line in the western portion of the Bloor Danforth line, line 2. Yeah, we're just taking in the sights and sounds of all the different units here at the bus bay. Thankfully, it's not too busy. So hopefully you're seeing some units that you like to see, or not. And I feel that the spirits of the OG diesels will always stay here with their brothers and sisters who are living on and continuing onwards and forwards, while their slightly older counterparts have retired. Too soon, guys, too soon. Oh, hello. Good afternoon. So guys, if you're listening and watching this stream, the sound will be a little bit different for a few minutes while I just get a little charge on the phone here because it's been being used for a while and it requires some charging. I just showed you guys the power pack. And unfortunately, when I unplug the microphone, the sound gets a little bit distorted. So I can't help that, but I'll be back obviously on here a few minutes later maybe to as necessary. Just want to get a little bit of a charge going. Our bus is passing through some vintage apartment buildings, and I really like this part of the 40 Dundas West Junction route because it's a very calming part of the city to visit. As you can see, there's a lot of pigeons there, and just the way that the feng shui flows around here is very nice. And I do have wonderful memories of filming the OG diesels specifically on this route. Right now we're in a Nova LFS, which has its own unique sounds too, which are kind of cool. Totally different than So some of the buildings and units that are around this area were built in the early 1960s. I know specifically there's one on Islington Avenue, just straight ahead, that was built, I believe, in 1960, 6 to 8 years before. Actually, yeah, I think the Line 2 portion opened up in 66 or 68, around that time. And the apartment building was put in like 6 to 8 years ahead of time, knowing that there would be a subway line for people to go downtown to commute to work at the time. Like, so many people worked at like Young and Bloor at the time. near the Hudson's Bay that used to be there. I'm thinking maybe it's still called Hudson's Bay, but the store's been closed for at least 2 years or so now. Sadly, the Hudson's Bay store at Yonge and Bloor. Traveling through beautiful Islington Village. There was a lot of heritage, and you guys can see some of the signs here. Sorry, I'm showing at the tail end of it. But if you ever walk through this area here, it's a very beautiful, quaint part of town to walk in. And you can see a lot of Etobicoke's history. And of course, Montgomery's Inn here on the right, which we can see. Sort of. Montgomery's Inn is amazing. I think you can visit their farmers market. It says Wednesdays 2 to 6. And also, they used to have tea. Like you could have tea there with scones. Maybe they still actually have that. I'm not entirely sure. But it was built, I believe, in the 1800s. And if you've never been there and you're new to Toronto or you haven't been there yet, it may be really cool to check it out. I don't know if you can film in there, but I should find out, and maybe it might be really cool for me to do a future live video there from Montgomery's Inn. I think that would be quite nice, actually. I really love this route. This is such a gorgeous route to take, especially in the summertime. You can see so much green foliage, and it's just a beautiful road, or Dundas Street West. Dundas. It's a beautiful street to travel on, especially any time of the year, really. I love this part of Toronto here. Guys, if you were visiting here as a tourist and you've never been here, you know, most people find themselves going to places like the CN Tower or Casa Loma or Maple Leaf Gardens or whatever it's called now, Sky Dome. I'm calling it in the ways that I remember it from years ago. I don't know what, they keep changing the name of these things, so I think it's nice to visit the outskirts, not always visiting like to the main tourist hubs. Of course the CN Tower, why not? I mean, everybody loves to visit that. But if you don't want to get downtown and you want to see, you know, real parts of Toronto, I recommend, you know, taking a bus ride, especially you want to take a really good bus ride, take this bus ride from Dundas Bus Station. It goes all the way along to Kipling Station, and it's a wonderful ride. I'm recommending that actually over any other route in the city right now. I don't even really recommend taking a bus in the eastern portion of Toronto, unless it's the 82 Rosedale. That's another very beautiful bus route, although it's a little too close to downtown for me, and I'm a West End person and prefer the West End and filming in the West End. And we have the beautiful Humber River here on the left and right. Just look at this. I mean, as they say, guys, Ontario is yours to discover. Ontario is literally yours to discover. So if you ever come to visit Toronto, I hope you will consider my suggestion about the 40 Dundas West Junction bus, because it is spectacular views, as you guys could just see. Our bus is now passing the junction area of Toronto, and it's currently at Dundas Street West and Pacific Avenue. And the unit is a Nova LFS. I think it's a diesel. Sounds like diesel. I didn't catch the numbers of it at the moment because I got on at a different area and I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure when I'm getting off of it, I'll see what it is. More construction. Welcome to Toronto. More buildings going up all the time. Hopefully they didn't tear down any vintage buildings, but they probably did. Because a train used to pass through here, actually. Maybe it still does, but not on this side, not on this portion of it. I don't know. You'd have to research it online. And happy birthday.
help keep the TTC safe. Report any suspicious activity to a member of staff or a police officer. If you see something, then Patrece Road and Weston Road.
Just observing the bus, guys. This is 7245 on the 168 Symington that goes to Rogers Road and Weston Road. I know this route is sort of a fan favorite, so that's why I'm filming it. Also, maybe you guys like this bus as well.